It was complicated, but he was a lovely bloke and a decent man. Anyway, my brain just properly fucking went and ravelled, and I don't get too technical with it, but I went fucking nutter. And I sat back numb and watched the crazy thoughts, patterns and twisting clever bollocks nonsense in my broken head generate to fill the space with noise, to avoid looking directly at the thing, I guess. And one day I tried to write a bit of it down, and that is this. This is from my old man. This is from my dad, Bill, alright? It's called My Dad Died. As he typed the words, Dad died, he found himself wondering how often people write or say something in which two consecutive words both begin and end with the same single letter. A double-double, if you will. That's a lie. He first wondered if he was the first person to notice it whilst doing it. And he did notice it. He noticed it almost as much as he noticed himself noticing it. Come to think of it, it's hard to say, to be honest, which one he noticed hardest or first. He certainly fucking noticed it. Vanity, vanity, always vanity. He thought like an unconscionable cunt, unable to stop the flood and gush of thought spasms coming. It just caught his eye and transfixed him. First day of dad, final day of died. Stood like bookends. Encapsulating, delineating, marking a beginning and an end, a start and a finish. Then he briefly considered attempting to draw deep symbolic, somewhat fucking laboured, metaphorical, metaphysical meaning from this, but then he thought, fuck that. He was jaded and tired, and his dad had just died, and he decided better of it. He sufficed instead with a fleeting thought that the sound of the 4 days of Dad died reminded him of Dada. Dada. Fuck, the dad had spilled, mumbled and garbled, crawling and stretching like the burgeoning Bambi limbs of language. The first Dada drunkenly stumbling from his slack baby mouth, hanging on a tonsil, a sinew of snot, a bedribbled lip, reaching out back then towards, to touch. He's dead. He's now dead. Whimsical indulgence over, he regrouped. After a brief head scratch, hook pipe sprang to mind. But of course, the E at the end of the pipe let it down. A poop pip was, I suppose, all too possible, depending on diet, but far too niche and obscure. Still a close one, shame. Especially as his dead dad was a plumber. Dada instinctively understood waste, intuitively knew a urinal was ready made for taking the piss. Thank you. I think he appreciated it was bowel cancer that got him in the endo. The voice in the head suddenly said, no pun innuendo intendo, and he briefly found himself inside a video game called Nintendo Innuendo, rubbing shoulders with a cast of carry-on characters. Sid and Babs, Atty and Kenneth and the gang, racing saucily round the track, from one bouncy bottom double entendre to the next lovely pair. He followed the concept away, always on the lookout for the big idea because he's a mug, and returned to the grown-up matter at hand. Then there was Dud Do. Well, it certainly did what he said on the tin. Its appropriateness can't be denied. The dead dad was quite clearly a Dud Do. It was a bit American, which he wasn't fucking mad about, and it failed to perfectly fit the criteria in much the same way that Boot Pipe had done, with an extraneous E at the end. It also felt a tad casual and disrespectful, but he liked the slightly meta tang about the way that it itself was a self-referential comment on itself. Though the postmodern wank he knew, but he was a sucker for that shit. He knew what he liked, and he liked the satisfying duality and circularity of it being both what it was, but also that embedded in that self was a comment in its own failure in this context. In the terms and conditions of this fucked up, absurd word game, Dud Dude was indeed itself a Dud Dude, as was this Dud Dude of a dead dad. And my dead dad died. And that's a fucking triple double.
Yeah.